Long Island, New York. Beautiful on this Thanksgiving morning, soon to be day, soon to be evening, soon to be upset stomach. Welcome to the special Thanksgiving edition of American Sunrise, everybody. I'm David Brody. All right, securing our southern border has been a top priority for the Trump administration. The Department of Homeland Security, in coordination with ICE, have worked tirelessly to rid our country of dangerous criminals. And joining us now for a further discussion on that is our good friend Mike Baker. He's a former CIA covert operations officer and the host of the President's Daily Brief podcast. I'll get it out eventually. Mike, good to see you. So negative net migration or net negative migration, whatever you want to call it. I mean, my goodness, more people are leaving the country than entering it. I mean, talk about being thankful for something. Kamala Harris and the borders she's got to be really, really sad that this is happening, I guess. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Yeah, it turns out when you enforce your immigration laws and create a secure border, which every other country out there on the planet does as well, then this is what you get, right? I mean, you get less traffic illegally crossing the border. And that's not rocket science, but it appeared that it was difficult for the previous administration to understand.
Mike, I have to admit, I really want to ask you about marshmallows, but I'm not going to do that because we didn't have a good experience in our last segment. So let's just go here. I want to bring your attention to this headline, which reads, suspected suburban jihadis were at the center of a disturbing homegrown terror plot that authorities say was fueled by extremist content on social media. The FBI intercepted encrypted chats where suspects allegedly used code words like vacation, which was supposed to mean jihad, and pumpkin, which was a reference to a Halloween attack. Counterterrorism experts are warning that online radicalization continues to drive these sorts of domestic threats. So do you see these as kind of lone wolf situations? And is that really the biggest threat to America internally at the moment?
Well, it's lone wolf in a manner of speaking, right? Because you can have individuals out there unconnected to anything who, for one reason or another, they disappear into these rabbit holes. They get into the dark web, and next thing you know, they're in these chat rooms. They're impressionable, maybe they're loners, whatever it might be, and they become radicalized. And you've also got this element out there that is putting out these chat groups, organizing these things. So there's an organized element to this with foreign connections. Look, ISIS isn't dead yet. Al-Qaeda is not dead yet. Radical Islam is still, going very strong in parts of the world. And so there are elements out there that are looking to influence and radicalize individuals. So you can say that person is a lone wolf, but there's linkages to more of an organized effort, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Mike, in your opinion, what is the biggest threat facing America this Thanksgiving morning besides losing our marshmallows?
Yeah, it's got to be the marshmallow thing. I don't see anything that tops the marshmallow problem at this point. But other than that, and Terrence, I'm sorry to say this, but yeah, marmarshmallows.
Don't do it, Mike. Don't.
I'm sorry.
Just
I'm sorry.
Answer the question,
but,
Mike.
Yeah, I know. Look, I'm not just saying this so that I'm with the majority here, Terrence. I firmly believe this.
Smart man.
Soul. But as far as the problems that are facing the U.S. and national security, one of them was what you started with, which is this issue of an open border. Right? The primary function of the federal government is to keep their citizens safe. And you can't do that unless or to the degree possible, who's coming across your border, who's entering your country. And for several years, obviously, right, even people on the left have to admit this, we didn't know, right? We had millions of people coming in. And not all of them, of course, had nefarious intent. A lot of them were just legitimately looking for a better life. But you'd have to be completely gormless to imagine that a number of those people that crossed that porous border during the past administration, some of them did have nefarious intent. And we know that from years gone by. We've seen evidence in the past of cartels cooperating with groups like Al-Qaeda. because Al-Qaeda looks at it and says, okay, what can the cartel do? The cartel is extremely good at moving people and weapons and resources across and back and forth that border. So let's create some liaison with them. So that was one of our primary concerns. It still is in a sense. You can't let your guard down, but it has vastly improved.
Mike, 30 seconds or so. What about these sleeper cells inside the United States? And I'm thinking about mosques. I'm just going to say it straight up. I mean, there are a lot of mosques that are being built all across this country, especially in places like Texas. I mean, you wonder about that threat. I know there's been books written about that, the terrorist next door, if you will.
Yeah. Look, this is anytime you start talking about this, right? The other side, the Democrats in particular, the hard left, will start to roll their eyes and go, "Oh my God, you're an Islamophobe." Well, you know what? At the point where the threats have come from somewhere else, then we'll direct our attention there. But there have been and continue to be threats from radical Islam. And so that is where you need to draw your focus, right? So the problem is that people have gotten weary. They've gotten fatigued on the war on terror. They just want it to be a thing of the past. And the folks that haven't gotten weary, that haven't gotten fatigued, are the terrorist elements that still exist out there that would like to target and attack the U.S. And so we can't let our guard down. You got to get out of your foxhole and get busy living, but you still have to be pragmatic and realistic and realize that the threat hasn't gone away, no matter how desperate we are to get back to a normal life where we don't have these problems.
Mike, excuse me, what is your sense in terms of our government kind of letting the guard down? These sleeper cells, that's the whole point. They lay dormant, or they hope that you forget about them, and then they attack. And the reality is that right now, our focus is squarely on those illegal immigrants who are being criminals. Well, they're criminal because they're in the country, but who are committing these violent and heinous crimes, getting them out. Are we kind of looking past those sleeper cells, or are your sources telling you that they are still squarely in our scope?
Yeah, they're still on the radar. Look, you know, the FBI, it's taken a beating over the past, recent past, but they're very good at multitasking. And, the local and state, federal authorities, they've gotten much, much better at working together, coordinating together, Joint Terrorist Task Force and other elements out there. So they haven't let their guard down, and they are monitoring. Okay. It's a difficult lift. There's no doubt about it. But people should be aware that there are a lot of people working hard to keep this country safe so that we can all enjoy Thanksgiving.
I wonder if you know about this breaking story this Thanksgiving that U.S. grocery stores are labeling orange sweet potatoes as yams. Now, this is really important. This is purely for marketing. It started actually in the 20th century to distinguish them from the sweet potato variety. But if they are orange inside, they are sweet potatoes because yams are not orange. What gives them the permission to mislabel our yams as sweet potatoes? I want to know the answer to this.
Yeah, Mike, what's your intel on that?
Yeah, you're in luck because a lot of people don't know this, but I spent a couple of years while I was with the CIA undercover as a yam importer. So I've got a lot of insight into this. It's probably better to keep it for another segment. But yeah, there's differences and technicalities here. I don't want to say it's rocket science, but people should pay attention.
Sure.
Yeah, well, the bottom line, if you bought it in a U.S. store and it is orange inside, it is a sweet potato, not a yam. Buyer beware.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Mike Baker, Yam Intel operator, we really appreciate you being here today. Thank you so very much.
And if you've got to connect on some cheaper yams, I'm more than happy to meet someone on the corner of 15th and Halstead or wherever in order to get some cheaper yams this holiday.
Like I say, right now at CIA headquarters in Langley, right now they're going through the files saying, did we really put him undercover and do that?
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Thanksgiving, brother.
All right. And long live the anti-marshmallows. All right. Up next, think turkey alone makes you nod off after dinner? Actually, the real reason behind that food coma that we're all about to face might surprise you. The details ahead as American Sunrise comes back in a moment on this Thanksgiving Day.